Thank you, Jeanette, and thank you, UNESCO language community, for this opportunity to present about digitizing Koits Sunuwar script, a case from Nepal. My name is Kumar Sunuwar. For digitizing this Koits Sunuwar script, I am acting as liaison person of Sunuwar Welfare Society, the umbrella organization of Sunuwar indigenous peoples in Nepal. And along with me, Secretary of Sunuwar Welfare Society, Uttam Kati, is also present today. Besides a liaison person of a Sunuwar Welfare Society, I'm also chairperson of Indigenous Television, which is the only multilingual indigenous community-run television channel in Nepal that produces TV programs into 22 different indigenous languages, including in Sunuwar language. As being a chairperson, I'm working closely with all indigenous peoples in Nepal. And the good news about me is that recently, I have been appointed by UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres as a member of Board of Trustee, the advisory board of the UN Voluntary Fund for Indigenous Peoples. On behalf of indigenous peoples from Asia and the Pacific, starting from this January, and I'll be serving as a member of Board of Trustee until 2023. In today's webinar, I will present the maximum. I will spend about half an hour, where I will introduce about the Sunuwar, the indigenous community of Nepal, the community that I represent. And mainly I will present you about the Sunuwar script, which is in the process of digitizing and especially having its Unicode. And I also will present about why this digitization is important for Sunuwar indigenous community and what are the challenges for digitizing the script. And finally, I will also talk about the potential use of the Sunuwar script. So with the, let me introduce first the part about the Sunuwar indigenous peoples and the script of Sunuwar. Sunuwar is one of the 59 indigenous peoples listed or recognized by the government of Nepal under the National Foundation for Development of Indigenous Nationalities, in short, which is known as NFDIN Act 2002. This NFDIN, or the National Foundation for Development of Indigenous Nationalities, is one of the government body which was formed to oversee the development of 59 indigenous peoples recognized by the government. Sunuwar, they identify themselves, or they call themselves as a Koits while introducing each other. Whereas others recognize or tell them or recognize them or call them Sunuwar with you or without you, Sunuwar in short form, or Mukhia or Sikari, and so forth. Their population is 55,712 according to the census 2011, which is the latest census of Nepal, of which 37,898, that means almost 38,000 Sunuwar speak their own mother tongue, which is called Koits. And the philosophy, the socio-cultural or religious philosophy of Sunuwar, which is called the Mundum. And in order to oversee or unite all Sunuwar indigenous peoples across Nepal, the umbrella organization called the Sunuwar Welfare Society, which was founded long back in the year 1988 as umbrella representative organization or umbrella organization of Sunuwar indigenous peoples in Nepal. Now, let me talk about the history of Sunuwar script. The development and the promotion of Sunuwar script or Koits script has almost 8 years long history, but its evidences also show that the Koits script, which is called Koits Brace, or the Sunuwar script, which is one of the foremost Kirat script in Nepal, that whenever we talk about this Kirat script, the indigenous, the script of indigenous languages, the Limbu and Ranjana script, or Srijanga and Ranjana script, which have Unicode. So some of the evidences show that this Koits Sunuwar, the Sunuwar script, is the older than these two scripts as well. And this Koits Brace, or the Sunuwar script, was inscribed on the animal skin. And as the inscription was very old and about to fade away around in 1940s, the same inscriptions which was copied and re-engraved on the animal skin and brought into discussion by a person called Hem Karna Sunuwar. He comes from Surikari village in the Dolakha district. Similarly, in 1943, the first conference on the script was held, where the elders of Sunuwar indigenous peoples, they met and discussed about the script, and which was during that first symposium or the conference or the discussions, the Sunuwar script was printed and presented in the symposium by the elders, where the two more persons, Sam Lakshmi Sunuwar and Gangamaya Sunuwar, they also had presented the funds denoting the number during that first conference. Similarly, in the year 1947, right after the 1943, in 1947, the second conference, which was held in another the Eastern Nepal, which is called Dekhu Kaule in Taplejung district, which is close to Indian border. So in the Eastern Nepal, where the representatives also from Sikkim and Darjeeling, India, they were also present. They were also gathered in the second conference. That time, even the first conference, which was held in 1943, second one in 1947. That time in Nepal, there was Rana regime. There was a strict rule existed in Nepal. And that time, the education was only permitted for Rana family. Though there were two conferences relating to the script of Sunuwar, which got not much attention. Around 1960s, one more person, which is Karnabadur Jaitis, known as KV Jaitis, who is credited for the development of Sunuwar Front, who served in the British Army. He was the former British or Gurkha Army. He served the Gurkha from 1942 to 1968. he collected and improved the alphabetical order of the same script which was engraved in the animal skin. He printed and later on promoted these scripts right after the 1960s. In 1970, the K.V. Jaitis, who is known as the promoter of Sunuwar script, and which is known as the Jaitis script in Sikkim, and which this KV this Jaitis script, which is based in the Roman script, and another persons who also developed the fund called Tikamoli script, developed by Tikamolicha, based on Devanagari script. These both, Karnabadur Jaitis and Tikamolicha, they actually had agreed in the year 1970 to promote both the script. But that time in Nepal, there was a system that one language, one race, and one religion. The rule was promoted by the government of Nepal, and this rule continued until 1990, and it was not possible to promote the language then. But another fact, what I want to share is the K.V. Jaitis. He was the photographer, and he actually had collected and printed the same script, which was, as I said earlier, engraved by the Hemkarna Sunuwar. And he, K.V. Jaitis, provided that document to one Sunuwar called Balkrishna Mukhia. He was living in Darjeeling in the place called Sukia Pokhari in India. So K.V. Jaitis, when he was promoting the script right after 1960s, he provided this script to him. He also shared with him. So the Balkrishna Mukhia actually later on handed over this script or this picture to the Sunuwar, Sikkim Sunuwar Mukhia Koits, the one of the organizations founded by Sunuwar indigenous peoples living in Sikkim, India. They also had united under the Sikkim Sunuwar Mukhia Koits. So the Balkrishna Mukhia, who was living in Sikkim, who was living in Darjeeling, actually handed over that script to the Sunuwar, Sikkim Sunuwar Mukhia Koits, the team. And that team actually, in the year 1995, the representative of same Sikkim Sunuwar Mukhia Koits, the team comprising of Professor Dr. C.B. Mukhia, Secretary General R.B. Mukhia, the chairperson H.C. Mukhia, and the treasurer. You can see in the picture, in the slides, where the Pawan Samling is sitting in between, in the middle. The team of Sunuwar Sikkim Sunuwar Koits team actually handed over or submitted a memorandum to recognize Sunuwar, or the Sunuwar script or Koits script, as one of the official languages of Sikkim. That was in the year 1995. So finally in the year 1996, Sikkim government actually recognized Sunuwar language as one of the 10 official languages of Sikkim, amending the Sikkim Official Language Amendment Bill in the year 1996. And later on, this amendment of the bill, which included the Sunuwar script as one of the official language, also was included in Sikkim Official Language Act, which was adopted in the year 1997, where the altogether 10 indigenous languages, including Sunuwar. There are Lepcha, Bhutia, Limbu, Newar, Rai Bantawa, or Magar, Gurung, Tamang, Sherpa. These languages were also recognized. Recognized as official language of Sikkim. Right after this, the Sikkim government started publishing gazettes and the school curriculum, other literatures. They started publishing also in Sunuwar script. So, but these publications were mainly made through the handwriting because that time there was absent of the true type fonts in true type fonts of Sunuwar script. So you can see one of the newspaper which called Sikkim Herald, the Sunuwar or Mukhya editions here on the right side. This also has been published in Sunuwar language. In the year, in 2000, or right after 2001 or 2, the Dr. Lal Rapacha Sakerelu, from Sunuwar indigenous community, who did the PhD in Sunuwar language. While he was doing his PhD at the Jawaharlal Nehru University in New Delhi, he actually had got some the scholarship to do his PhD and to do further research on the Sunuwar script. So that time he added additional funds and he developed actually true type funds called Kiratwan true type funds to enable the Sunuwar script, enable type Sunuwar script in the computer. And then after having this true type fund, the publication of books, including the newspaper, the Sikkim Herald, and other publications actually were scaled up in Sikkim. The Koits Sunuwar script, which was promoted as the Jaintis script in Sikkim, and which has been massively used in Sikkim, was incomplete. It was incomplete. Therefore, the Sunuwar indigenous peoples who were in Nepal, they were reluctant to use that the Jaintis script or the Sunuwar script, which was being used in Sikkim. On the other hand, in Nepal, the government had actually prioritized the Devanagari script or the Nepali script. Therefore, in Nepal, Sunuwar indigenous community actually preferred to use Devanagari script rather than using the Sunuwar script, which is based in Sikkim. Therefore, they used Devanagari script in order to publish the books or even articles or the piece, including in Gorkhapatra, the government-run newspaper. Delhi actually had provided, has allowed a piece being published into a number of languages, including in Sunuwar language. So Sunuwar actually used Devanagari script in order to publish the piece in Gorkhapatra, Delhi. And the school curriculum, so far the Sunuwar indigenous people also have developed the school curriculum up to grade 5. And this school curriculum is also based on Devanagari script. And similarly, the Sunuwar people in Nepal published magazine, literary books, and other publications, including online news updates. They actually wrote the articles in the Sunuwar language, but in using Devanagari script. So in this occasion, let me tell you how the government of Nepal actually became a kind of flexible in promoting Sunuwar language. As I said, until 1990, there was one language, one race, the one religion policy, which was promoted until 1990. But in the year 1990, there was international, right after 1990, there was international kind of campaign where in Nepal government also attended that international forum. A number of international forums, Nepal government actually expressed its commitment to ensure the universal right to education to all. That means if you see international conferences like the World Declaration on Education for All, the World Declaration on Education for All, which was adopted in the year 1990. And in that World Conference as well, Nepal government actually expressed its commitment to ensure the universal right to education for all the citizens of Nepal. Similarly, in the year, other international conference which was held, some of the examples I would like to show you is there was a darker framework of actions which was held in the year 2000. And these actually international campaigns recognized to reach education to the children belonging to a number of indigenous children or ethnic minorities and make education contextually located and locally accessible. Therefore, in the year 2003 only, the government actually for the first time adopted a national action plan in the year 2003. And similarly, in the year 2005, the government actually developed national curriculum framework. Likewise, in the year 2000, I guess in the year 2009, the government actually launched the school sector reform plan. And these 2003, 2005, and 2009, the government actions or activities actually promoted mother tongue based multilingual education in Nepal. And currently the government states that the government actually has developed curriculum into 24 different indigenous languages up to grade 5. This data actually is given by the Curriculum Development Center of the government, and it says that the government has developed a school curriculum up to grade 5 into 24 different indigenous languages. But all these school curriculum actually uses the Devanagari script, and the Lucky East Sunuwar also have school curriculum, as I said, up to grade 5, which is the medium of this school curriculum is Devanagari script. So right after the 1990, the government actually was forced, right, to promote the mother tongue educations in Nepal. So with this background, let me continue with the starting of digitizing process digitizing process of Sunuwar script. During a UN high-level event, which was held in Los Pinos, Mexico, right in the 2019, February 28 and 29, that time there was a high-level event which was held in Los Pinos, Mexico. That high-level event was actually organized for the official closing of the International Year of Indigenous Languages, and for the global action plan for the international decade, which is starting from January 2022 to that will continue until 2032. That time I personally met with Janet Stewart, the founder of Translation Commons. And during 2019, the Indigenous Television was one of the official media partner of the UN. And I also was invited to speak in the panel. So where I met with the Janet Stewart. So after a year of our meeting, I guess in 2020, around May, Janet actually sent some multilingual posters to translate into local languages. At the meantime, she also updated about the work of Translation Commons and its involvement in the digitizing of the Zambian language as part of the pilot project. And she also made an amazing offer for the possibilities to digitize the Sunuwar script also from Nepal. And then I made, as I got that very good news from Janet, I then shared this good news to Sunuwar Welfare Society team. And in May 2020, the Sunuwar Welfare Society, the umbrella organization, actually formed nine-member team comprising of linguists, educators, activists, journalists, language practitioners, and designated me as liaison person, relaying the questions and the necessary materials for the international teams. And the organization actually had a long time frame to digitize the oral script, digitize the oral language into the writing systems. So which actually I think that came true with this team working on digitizing of Sunuwar script. So therefore, I would like to take this opportunity to thank to the international team of experts and the team of international experts, which has been formed and actively working in the leadership taken by the Translation Commons. So from 2020 May onward, every month, the team and the Sunuwar Welfare Society's team, actually we have been having the online meeting every month to discuss and update on the progress about the digitizing of the Sunuwar script actually. And I have been actively involved in collecting evidences and providing these evidences to the international teams in order to ease the digitizing process. And right after this, the team under the Sunuwar Welfare Society actually speeded up and continue collecting evidences available at home and at the community, including some of the publications from Sikkim, and reviewed the existing scripts. Not only the Jentiza script from Sikkim, but also existing Tikamula scripts. So the team members experimented, had regular discussions discussions. And we thought that as the Genetica script, the Sunuwar script, which has been used massively in Sikkim, has more chances of being used in near future. So the team actually worked on the same Genetica script, non-as Genetica script, which has been used massively in Sikkim. And the team actually analyzed that script. And as I said earlier, that the script was incomplete. And therefore, the team, which was formed by Sunuwar Welfare Society, actually added the new character. And also it worked on the structure of the script. And the original, when it restructured on the alphabetical order, that time the team actually put the original character. Repo tire remained stable as promoted by the KBGNTs. So and the team actually reworked on true type font with different typographies in order to publish, in order to use the script which was used in Sikkim. As I said, it was incomplete. So in order to give a complete of this script, the team actually included some of the character or fonts, and it worked on the additional true type font in order to make that script use and use in a publication in Nepal. So in order to give a title, highlights, or normal text look different. So different true type font, the true type fonts with the different typography, which was developed by the team. And the Craig Cornelius, the senior engineer at Google, he also developed the online keyboard, that the prototype of keyboard, the layout, the including he also included some sample converter of that script for the public use area, that is called the public use areas character codes, in order to show that there are avenues for digitizing the Sunuwar script or Sunuwar language. So finally, a draft proposal to encode the Sunuwar script in Unicode is ready on August 17, 2021. And thanks to Devra Anderson, the script encoding initiative, and also thanks to Ansuman Pandey, who developed this proposal. And also I would like to thank Janet Stewart. And let me tell you that the Unicode committee is sitting for the final meeting on September 10, as I have been updated, for the final approval for the Unicode proposal. And as I said earlier, the team in Nepal actually developed the true type font with different typographies. And for the first time, the very same team actually started publishing the monthly magazine in Nepal on Sunuwar script titled Hamso, which basically means light in Sunuwar language. So the Hamso, which also have been published, the first monthly magazine into a Sunuwar language. Now, with this background, let me tell you why digitization is important for Sunuwar indigenous peoples. The digitization is really important for Sunuwar indigenous peoples in order to have the Sunuwar script or the Koits script available on various digital platforms. As I said, Sunuwar indigenous peoples, in the absence of true type fonts, it has been using Devanagari scripts, and it has published several books, newspapers, articles, and these, right, in order to archive the newspapers or printed materials which are available on Sunuwar language, which is called Koits law, in the on the wave water or internet world, the digitization is really important. And more importantly, in order to preserve and develop further the Sunuwar language or Sunuwar script or the Sunuwar language through writing. That means the Sunuwar indigenous peoples are a oral community. So they don't use writing as much. So in order to give a transition from oral to the writing, this digitizing process is really important. And another is equally, it is also important in order to strengthen the distinct identity of Sunuwar. The digitization of a script is important because one of the definition of indigenous peoples in Nepal is having distinct language and a script. So that means in order to have a distinct language or script, so this is one of the criteria or characteristics of indigenous people. So in order to strengthen the Sunuwar, the identity, the digitization process is really important. So similarly, the Sunuwar indigenous peoples, as I said earlier, the Sunuwar actually has depended on Devanagari script or on the Romanized English in order to write in Sunuwar languages. So Sunuwar people actually have used Romanized English in order for the communication in email or messenger or other internet communication platform. So in order to end this dependency on other script, the digitization of Sunuwar script, its own script, is really important. And the digitization also equally be helpful to bring into the attention of the international scholars to study on and explore about the Sunuwar, Koits Sunuwar script, as well as Sunuwar indigenous community as well. The digitization of Sunuwar script is really important. But while digitizing of Sunuwar script, there are a number of challenges. So let me present you some of the challenges. The biggest challenge of digitizing of Sunuwar language is that Sunuwar language or Koits law is not written. The Sunuwar language is oral, right? So it is spoken at home and it is spoken at the community. It is neither used in any kind of literate way, like other indigenous languages worldwide, and most of the indigenous languages worldwide, which are the oral, not written. So the member of Sunuwar community speak the Koits language, Koits law at home, but when they go to the school for the first time, they write in Nepali. While dealing with the government's official language, they write in Nepali, or in school or in college. When they work, they use English, right? They work in English. So this actually shows that the existence of the language discrimination or language exclusion in Nepal. See, now in Nepal, 129 languages which have been recorded in Nepal. So if you see the 2011, the latest census, which also records 123 different languages which are spoken in Nepal. And lately, the Language Commission actually has identified 6 more languages And these 6 more languages will be included in the 2021 census, which is ongoing. So altogether, there will be 129 languages in Nepal. Such a huge number of languages which are spoken in Nepal. And 90% of them, which means out of 129, as many as 117 languages which belong to indigenous peoples. And all the indigenous languages, as I shared earlier about the Sunuwar language, have the same fate, same stories to tell, right? So all indigenous peoples, they are compelled to use the Nepali. The Nepali, actually, the Nepali language has been a medium of language of education, a medium for the content writing and media, medium to justice delivery in judiciary, and others, which where only Nepali has been used exclusively in Nepal. But the good news is that now Sunuwar language, right, is also promoted, also has been promoted in media. It is used in radio and television, and which are, I mean, this radio and television, which are close to world language as well. And not only this, but the Sunuwar language also equally promoted in newspaper and other printed material, right, materials as well. But as I said, so far, these printing materials or writing actually has been, I mean, Devanagari script has been used massively because there was earlier, there was absence of true type fonts or the absence of Unicode so far, as there is absence of Unicode in Sunuwar script. And there was not available true type font in Sunuwar script. Therefore, we actually were forced or dependent on Devanagari script in order to write any articles in our language as well. The Sunuwar language, Koits Sunuwar script has been used as handwriting rather than typing in the computer in Nepal. But as I said, recently we have started publishing the Hamso, the monthly magazine in Sunuwar language, and we have been able to develop that true type fonts with different typographies within this 2 years period. Now, with the help of the many international teams, as I mentioned above, and we are in the process of getting Unicode fund, and right after the Unicode, we are hopeful to get our fund designed and built in the systems, different system, computer system, and we will be able to use or promote the Sunuwar script into the writing. And what we want, and what actually Sunuwar indigenous peoples want, and see, the dream of Sunuwar, Koits Sunuwar, is that the Sunuwar script is also available, or this is accessible on all kind of devices, in computer, in mobile, without a converter, and will be possible to type and possible to use the Sunuwar script on online or website and other social medias. And we want to document the indigenous Sunuwar indigenous knowledge, and more importantly, the language which have been transmitted orally for generations, and use Sunuwar script massively in educations. And we want to promote this in the media or information and communications, which ultimately, I mean, this digitizing process will be helpful in preservations and promotion of our oral languages into our writing. So with this, I want to conclude my presentations, and thank you so much for once again for this opportunity to present about the Sunuwar script before the UNESCO language community. And thank you, Janet. And I would like to pass over to you. Thank you. If you have any questions, then I am ready to answer or respond to you. Thank you.